For today's review, we are looking at the Ross exclusive Three Jokers Batman figure. I can't believe I'm actually saying these words. Ross exclusive. So, for those of you that don't know what this is, basically Mcfarlane is repackaging older DC Multiverse figures that they have released in the past, where you basically are just buying the action figure. It doesn't come with any accessories, there's no data profile card, there's no DC figure stand. Everything that usually would come with these action figures are gone. And they are packed in this card back style, as you can see, where it's big enough to fit the action figure, and that's pretty much it. So there's the front side, and the back side looks just like your standard DC Multiverse box, and there is the Ross price tag for $12.99. Now, there is a good and bad factor about this. Let's start with the bad factor. This is how you know this line is coming to an end. They are pretty much taking whatever excess stock that they still have in their warehouses that they couldn't get rid of, and they're repackaging them and trying to dump them all at Ross. That's pretty much what this is. And I guess the only positive from this is that if you don't have any of these figures, so for this first wave, it's the Three Jokers Batman, the Hush Superman, and the David Cornsweat Superman from the recent Superman movie, I guess this is a good way to get them if you don't want to buy them for full price. So, yeah, I suppose that's a positive, but you just have to sacrifice the accessories and all the other stuff. However, these Ross exclusive DC Multiverse figures are not easy to find, and it's mainly because every single Ross location has different stock. And in my area, it just so happens that I never found a single copy of any of these figures from this first wave until yesterday when I came across this Batman. And I actually searched the entire toy aisle yesterday just to see if there was any more, if there was a Superman. There was none. It was just the single Batman. And I don't know if it's because that's how limited the quantity is. I don't know how many they're shipping to Ross, or maybe they're selling out fast. I'm not too sure what's going on. But the fact that it's been like a good couple months and I finally saw my first one, yeah, don't know what's going on there, but they're very hard to track down for some reason. So I want to mention that as well. Let's talk about the aesthetics of this Batman figure. Nothing has changed. This is exactly the same Three Jokers Batman figure that came out originally. So as you can see with the details, he does have a sculpted belt right here, which is nicely painted in this darker yellow, which I prefer over the brighter yellow on the JOA version. The bat emblem is also sculpted, which is nice. I do like the way that it looks. As for his gauntlets, he does have some texturing done right here, as well as texturing for the hands of the gloves that he's wearing. So that's pretty nice. On this side, it's the same thing. And for the head sculpt, it is, of course, the same head sculpt. Now, the skin tone on this particular figure is slightly different from the JOA version because they did do a slight repaint on the skin tone, so I will bring that figure in for comparisons. As for the texturing that you can see for the mask and this cape, it is the same exact texturing work, which is very nicely done as well. And here's the back side of the cape. I like how it's sculpted in this sort of not windswept sort of style. It's just very calm and, you know, good for posing, I suppose. And as you can see, there's a lot of texturing going on the back, which is also great to see. For his legs, he does have a bit of leg armor down here for his boots that he's wearing. I suppose these are just boots. I don't think it's armor of any kind, but it looks like armor. And you can see some texturing details right there. And that's pretty much it with the aesthetics for this figure, because it's very simple. It's not anything crazy. Everything on here is exactly identical to the original release of this action figure. And in terms of the articulation, I'm not going to go over it because this copy of my figure happens to just have a lot of stiff parts that I haven't heated up yet, so I'm not going to bother with it. And I already showed the articulation for this figure once in the past, and that was with the JOA version since it is identical. So we're just going to jump into the comparisons. And as you can see, the head sculpt is where it's slightly different when it comes to the skin tone. So I'm going to zoom in And you can see that he has a more paler skin tone on the original figure, and for this repainted version, he has a more natural skin tone that looks a little bit more realistic, in my opinion, over this more pale color that's way too bright. So, yeah, that's pretty much the difference between these two figures, is just the way that they are painted. Everything else is the same. Even the accessories that this one had is the same exact accessory that the original version of this figure also came with, which is the grapple launcher. Now, the main reason why I bought this Ross exclusive is because since I don't have the original Three Jokers Batman figure, this was a good opportunity for me to complete that wave with the Red Hood and the Batgirl. So I'm going to bring in the Red Hood. This is also from the same storyline. And here is the Batgirl. That is from that same wave. I don't have two of the Jokers. One of them I do have. I don't remember where I put it, so he's not going to be in this comparison. But yeah, at least when it comes to the trio here, I do have them complete now, so this will go nicely on my Bat Family shelf, and just my Batman stuff in general. So there it is. That is going to be the comparisons with these two figures. And for the last comparison for today's review, here he is next to Bat-Zaro, who we will be looking at this week alongside Bizarro. This was from the 2-pack, and I've been holding off from talking about this 2-pack for a while, so yeah, I think it's time we talk about it. And that will do for the comparisons for today's review. If you found today's review of the Three Jokers Batman figure, which is also a Ross exclusive, informative, do give this video a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel for more action figure content and whatever else I do on here, it would be much appreciated. And with that said, take care, and I will see you in the next video.